Ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting here amidst a global pandemic with the one and only Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy podcast.
I cannot tell you how honored I am. You are the queen of solo podcasting, and I am just like, I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm so honored that you came here to do this with me in the flesh. This is like my first conversation that I'm not having with myself in the flesh, I think in all of 2020.
It is becoming very isolating. And then when you add that, like, you have a podcast, you start to really question, like, so what did I upload this week? Like, what was that episode that I just did? Because there's no human interaction.
Zero.
So you kind of just, like, are relying on the podcast. And, I'm going to get my feelings out. But it's like, what did I just say? So I'm happy that we're, like, doing this together. It's, like, refreshing.
It is really refreshing. We were talking about this earlier because you were once a duo. And now you are
a
solo daddy.
It's so
solo father.
Why is it weird hearing Jackie Schimmel? Like, I feel like that is something you on the internet, you're like, why the fuck are you calling yourself daddy, you loser?
No, by the way, I have a lot of questions for you because like I told you earlier, I am a reclusive moron. Like my finger is so far off the pulse that I don't even know. I couldn't find the pulse if it was 6 feet.
But I think that's like why so many people love you is because you sit in your house with your dog and your husband.
So pathetic.
Who, let me just say, the reason I knew we would get along is I'm like, not only do you rip people's assholes on the internet, but you constantly are threatening your husband of divorce.
Yes.
And I'm like, that to me, I know you're so in love. Because if because I was saying this in the car to my sister, and she was like, Kate, that doesn't sound normal. But I'm like, if you can joke with your husband about divorce, that means you are so fucking confident in that relationship. If you can't talk about divorce, then bet you're getting divorced.
It's like the Alexis Bellino, Jim Bellino, like it's doth protest too much. I'm not worried about making divorce jokes because I'm like fairly certain we're not going to get a divorce.
Right.
But if we did, that would be hilarious.
Then you called it first.
Then I'm also a genius.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a win-win situation. I think it's weird, like that, people say, oh, you're not supposed to say the D word. Well, it's kind of funny.
It is kind of hilarious.
And I don't believe in unconditional love. What kind of bullshit basis of a relationship is that?
No, it's not. No one has that. So if you can address it in the beginning and just be like, there could be divorce on the horizon. Who knows? Let's live in the moment.
Let's weather the storm together.
Exactly. It seems like it's working for you.
Thank you. I think so. I think we were going to make it, but you never know.
No,
he could snap.
Keep me updated.
I will let you know. If there's trouble in paradise, I will send you a text immediately.
Perfect. Or you'll just podcast about it and your rankings will go up. That honestly would be great for ratings.
Don't
divorce.
I know.
I just went through it. So I'm like, wait, unfortunately, it's so sad, but sometimes the drama, it propels things.
So how I found you.
Yes, tell me. Oh, God.
I had a bunch of girlfriends just fucking start rampaging me, being like, what the fuck is going on with the Call Her Daddy girls? What happened? Do you have any inside scoop? And obviously, I see your gorgeous face on the top of the fucking podcast charts every single week. So I totally know the show. I know kind of like the gist or whatever. Right. And then I realized that both of you followed me on Instagram. And I felt so included. I felt like I had some type of intel, despite
literally. It's like all of your friends that are bringing this up to you, Jackie. Like, I don't follow them, and yet I follow you, and you're like, wow, like I don't know what's going on with the drama. And they're like, well, we thought you would, you stupid bitch, because they follow you on Instagram. You're like, I didn't know this. Thank you.
It was just like a true narcissist, immediately inserted myself because I'm like, oh my God, I'm like a part of it. They both follow me on Instagram and they don't really follow that many people. So I really do have some type of
something. You've got something.
I've got something. We don't know what it is. Mental illness.
Something. Yes.
Crippling menstrual cramps.
No, it's great.
I don't know. So my friends were like, you should message them and try to get them both on your podcast. And I'm like, what kind of cheap, desperate, roachy whore?
Is that what this is? Is she about to walk in? Holy shit. This is Maury Povich. Or like, it's like, oh, you already have interviewed her. Now you're interviewing me and there's like cameras everywhere.
Can you fucking imagine?
No, I literally can't. Now I'm like terrified. I'm like, wait,
by the way, I know a lot of fucking podcasters that would do that shit because it's roach territory.
Yeah.
But I let the dust settle, saw you were in LA, and I was like, let's get that bitch on this podcast. Do you guys speak at all?
No.
Not even a text, nothing since shit hit the fan.
No. I think it's just, it was so, literally it was like a divorce because the show was our child, essentially.
I watched your entire YouTube statement.
Oh my God, thank you.
By the way, my takeaway from the statement was that I need to invest in more light shades of purple.
Wait, literally everyone is like, so where's the suit from? I'm like, did you guys hear anything I was saying? They're like, where the fuck is your outfit from? I'm like, well, I'm glad you guys at least like clicked and watched something. No, literally the amount of people that were like, that outfit, I mean, it just slapped girlfriend. I'm like, wow.
It really did, because it was demure.
Right.
And it was really showcasing like a beautiful pastel. So it was like, it felt conservative and just like
like I was
attainable.
there, like, yeah, like the colors were right, everything was looking good.
Yeah, like it was really great. It was a really solid choice.
Thank you.
And that was my takeaway.
Thank you. It's actually kind of crazy because I love how many people cared about that color and wanted it. And I was like, I woke up that morning and had worn that to bed, and I just sat down in the chair with it. And I'm like, I'm so happy I wore that. I didn't know it would be such a hit, but it was a hit. I can't believe we're talking about this right now.
It showed that you were both reflective, but also like hopeful for the future.
Right. Like literally that makes no sense, but like absolutely totally see where you're going with this.
1000%. So you're not talking.
No.
You're never going to be friends again.
It was hard in the end because we had lived together.
Oh, I missed that part.
Oh yeah, we lived in the same apartment.
While this was going
While
down?
this was happening. So,
are you fucking kidding me?
So she left and she was with her boyfriend, and I went home to Pennsylvania.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then it got difficult because, like, at first I was like, is she going to pay rent? And, like, got kind of, yeah. And so, but eventually we both had moved out at different times, and I kind of was, like, left to just do, like, all the heavy lifting of getting stuff out. And then she was gone, and I was gone. And
she's the one that introduced you to my podcast.
She did.
So there's that. We got to give her something.
Fuck! Like, how fucking morbid is this?
She's the reason we're sitting here together.
I hope she doesn't listen to this. Skip this one. This is going to be a tough one.
By the way, skip a couple of them.
Yeah.
They can't all be hits.
Yeah, no, she introduced me to you, and I listened to a few of your, that's when I was like, hey, this bitch is hilarious. Like, you're amazing. And I think now being a podcaster that's doing it alone, I have so much more respect for anyone that's podcasting alone, because I'm like, I don't know what that, like, who wants to podcast alone? Who wants to listen to someone podcasting alone? I don't know.
By the way, you know how sick I am is that I prefer, like I said earlier, it's easy to podcast with a podcaster because you get flow of conversation,
right,
and you know when to keep it moving, and you know when to shut the fuck up, and you know when to not tell people about your fucking dream that you had last week.
Yeah, like no one cares.
Nobody fucking cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Don't tell us about like your Aunt Gertrude. Like, shut the fuck up.
Gertrude needs to be fucking kept in the diary.
Right.
Move the fuck on, all right?
Get your goddamn journal, your little moleskin, and like just pen it around and shut the fuck up forever.
But are you about to tell me you like podcasting alone better?
I do.
I was about to say, Jackie, on the beginning of this journey, I was having mental breakdowns, which I still have to tell my listeners about because I haven't been open about it.
Your single journey?
Yes.
Okay, your single podcast
Full
journey.
blown, like I'm not a person that has anxiety.
Yeah.
And I had like my first anxiety attack in my life when I was putting out my 3rd episode. I was going to tell my listeners about this, but here you go on your show. It was like the pressure of everything that happened. I care so fucking much about the show that I was wanting to make it perfect for them. Even though it's going to be different and there's no way it will be the same, I wanted it to just be a different level of perfection for my listeners, and I care so much. And when I did my first solo episode, I was literally like shitting my brains out the night before, being like, oh my God, they're going to hate it. Now that I've had guests on though, I kind of like the solo episodes. Well, I'm getting used to it.
Just from a financial standpoint, you get to keep all the money. So that's
and listen, we've been through a lot, all of the fucking drama with financials. It is a lot easier doing it as a solo. I'm not going to front, all right?
Let's just lead with that. Right. Secondly, you kind of get to control the entire narrative. You get to reap all the benefits. Also, I mean, I can understand how you'd be having so much anxiety, by the way, because after like the press and the build up, and you finally like get to use your platform, and it's like phase 2 of this baby that you built. Like that's a lot of fucking pressure, especially if you're used to having a co-host or like a crutch or someone to lean on or take up for you when you're like in a weird fucking mood.
Totally. It was also hard because I think people fell so in love with both of our characters.
Right.
And I think it was hard because I never fully shared this, but like the characters had really almost gotten to the point of like we couldn't shift and really be fully truly ourselves. Like we were being authentic, but it had gotten so big that like she was this one and then I was this one, and like we had kind of our roles, and I felt kind of stuck, honestly, content-wise, because the roles we were playing, I remember people used to be like, oh my God, like that one's the more mature one, and she seems like, and I'm like, behind the scenes, people had no idea what was going on of like.
And you couldn't say that.
I couldn't say that.
And then it comes home with you.
Yes. And then we lived together, and then the business side of things was a disaster, and that's where it was just like, it got bad, yeah.
They say don't do business with friends.
Are you listening, guys? Hello? Don't do it.
Which is so crazy, because as we sit here in my husband's studio, he works with all of his best friends every single day.
Men are fucking different.
Men are different.
I hate them.
I know. They're just lower drama. And it's not nice to say. People get all hopped up. Biologically, we're fucking different.
It's so true. I watch men interact, and men, when they have a problem, they'll just confront it straight on and be like, you're being fucking annoying. Like, what are you doing? And they just like bro it out, and then they're fine. 2 minutes later, girls, you're going to go home. You're going to think about it. You're going to tell your mom about it, your other best friend. You're going to talk shit. And then you don't confront them, and you're passive aggressive. And it's like this never-ending thing with women. And so, yeah, don't get in business with anyone.
No, it's just, I mean, I totally understand. It's interesting that you said earlier that about playing like a role in a character. Yeah. Do you feel like you're different off the podcast, or do you think that you're pretty much the same person when you're on or off?
I think that prior to this new era of being alone, I think that I was playing like I was being the most exaggerated version of myself.
Totally.
I think that I am the girl though, like at a party, like I'm fucking out of my mind. Like I am 24/7. People think I'm on cocaine. They're like, what is wrong with this girl? Yeah. Like I have so much energy. I'm a huge extrovert. However, I think when you're on a podcast, you're obviously picking what you want to talk about. So naturally I'm putting that part of my personality on display rather than showing like, oh, I like actually have real feelings, and like, oh, by the way, like Alex Cooper has like a very normal family, and like
boring.
So exactly, who the fuck wants to hear about that? So then I just ramp up the other side of it. But I do feel like now I'm being more authentic in my show because I'm having to, because it's
you are the nucleus of your own atom.
Right. Literally. Like now it's becoming like a reality dating show, and I'm just every week I just go on my show and I give an update on my dating life, and the men that I'm dating are like, you need to stop.
Like, please stop fucking talking about me.
Literally, like, why are you doing that? And then I'm like, I'm sorry. And then
like, it's my fucking job, bitch. Check the charts and shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck. And then it kind of is amazing because I do it where I'm like, if you don't want to be a part of it, I totally understand. But then they're like, well, I really like you, and I'm like, okay, so then get on board and shut the fuck up. I'm not using your name. You have like a cute little nickname that I give you, and like, be okay with it.
Do you collaborate on the nickname, or you just?
You know what? It's there's a guy I just started hooking up with in LA while I'm here.
Mm-hmm. What's his name?
His name is Mr. Sexy Zoom Man.
I was hoping that.
So his name is this, his social security number, and then Zoom Man, because I had a business meeting.
Okay.
Ooh. It was and there was like 5 men on the Zoom call and me. Mm-hmm. And he specifically, I was like obsessed. I'm like, you are so my type. You look amazing, so hot. And then he asked me to get dinner when I came out to LA.
And how did it go?
It was amazing.
Have you guys had penetration yet?
We just did.
Oh, mazel tov.
He took me to Santa Barbara last night.
Nice.
And we did like a little getaway, and it was like super hot.
Amazing.
Pretty amazing, yeah.
Did you come to LA to see him?
No. So I had this trip planned.
Oh, so it just cosmically worked out perfectly.
Yeah, and he was supposed to leave the country, and then he couldn't because someone on his team got corona, so he's just like hanging out by himself, and then like this worked out.
Oh, amazing.
I mean, you love to see it.
I do love to see it. What is the craziest thing you've ever done in a relationship? Like, have you ever had a psychotic break moment? Because I have them daily, and I live for them. And you know how you said that you're like an amplified version on the podcast? Yes. I'm crazier in real life.
Oh,
like
Jackie.
Like 100%. Like I have to keep it to a bare minimum because I don't want to frighten my listeners.
You have that voice where it seems like you're on the verge of an absolute episode, like 24/7.
Because I am.
Yeah, and you're like, I am keeping it together because Andrew, and it's like she's about to break.
No, by the way, that's the scariest shit you can do.
No,
I used to be a screamer, and I used to like be really theatrical, and I have learned in my age that it is so much more, it really penetrates the soul and the psyche to just stay very monotone, hold eye contact. When you get the urge to scream, go quieter.
literally scares the shit out of especially men.
Terrifying. Look, he's terrified.
There's a guy in the room, guys.
He's clenching.
He's tenching up. Yeah. What have I done that's crazy? I think with my personality, I get extremely bored in relationships.
Same.
I am my own best friend. Okay.
Same.
I love myself. I have so much fun.
I literally am my favorite person to hang out with. I think I'm such a hoot and a half, and sometimes I feel burdened by companionship.
Yes. You're like, you are not me, and like you're not giving me what I give myself.
Yes.
It's kind of I guess it is narcissism.
It's like
at its
cock
finest.
blocking you from yourself.
I have never thought of it that way, and that is so right. That is so right.
It's unnecessary companionship.
And I think it's fucked up, though, because I think that can significantly affect when you're, like, trying to find a companion. Because I want someone, and then I get them, and I'm like, you just need to, like, shut the fuck up. So I think my crazy...
I totally get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I think that my craziest is how I am in relationships. I truly believe it's why, like, I've had success of, like, guys falling in love with me, but it's not healthy. What I do is, I'm not going to say I have two personalities when I'm with them, but, like, a lot of moments I'll just be, like, so happy with them, and then the next I'm quiet, and they're like, so what did I do? And I'm just constantly changing the flow of a relationship, and the guy...
Psychological warfare. I love it.
Warfare. And he just never... He never can feel fully safe, and I've had that said to me multiple times. Like, I've never ever felt like I fully have you, Alex. And I'm like, because you don't. And I think that's kind of like the craziness on a day-to-day. That's like, that's what I bring. It's like, you never know who you're gonna get when you wake up in the morning. It's terrifying, but it's also brilliant. Exactly. Hot. Yeah.
It's so hot. I always say to Andrew, like, I want him to think that he could wake up one morning and all of my shit would be gone. Never speak to him again, and he'd never know why.
The fact that you're saying this and you, I'm sorry, that's your husband. You're like, I want him to not know, but I believe you're right, and that's why you have a healthy relationship is because it kind of seems like you're almost still dating the way that you act towards your husband, and I think that's like goals. Because like I'm like I don't know when I'm gonna get fucking married, but I love the way yours looks, so I want that. But like obviously everything on social media can look different, but like it looks like it's healthy.
I think it's probably healthier than I even allow people to know.
Right. You're like, I actually, like, make it look like I fucking hate him 24/7. No, but you're doing a good job. You look like happy.
I just like to torture him. Like, I know it's not right, and I know that it might be emasculating on social media, but...
Oh, yeah. Do you get that a lot? Like, I feel like when you call your husband a she, I could see things maybe getting upsetting. Because I feel like if I did that to a boyfriend, he'd be like, you need to shut the fuck up and stop calling me a she.
But I call every guy a she.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
I call my dad a she.
Oh, okay. So we love that. So everyone's a she.
And I just think, like... I don't know. He's a very masculine, secure human being. And if he had a problem with that, I'd be like, really?
Yeah.
Like, do you need a fucking tampon? Oh, your big bad wife is referring to you as she?
No, that's a great point. It's like,
big whoop.
It makes him almost more masculine that it doesn't bother him, whereas a guy that's not as confident in his sexuality is going to be like, hey, stop doing that. And it's like, Kate,
I'm a man.
Like, I posted you as it like said you were she. Yeah.
Like, no, okay, micro dick, you're fine.
Yeah, like relax. I think that's true. I think you've got something there.
So your psycho is just kind of an overall everyday psychological warfare psycho, which is the best kind in my opinion.
Yes, I think that I'm not really the type of chick that's like I do my crazy shit, but listen, I think if I need to get to the bottom of something, and I think a lot of women in today's age can do this, like the stalking in me is FBI level because I have my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom is so involved in my dating life. She loves every second of it. So I will send my mom a guy and be like, do research and get back to me. And my mom will literally send me a full paragraph of like, so this is where he went to college. This is how tall he is. He has this many siblings.
You get your one sheet.
Literally my one sheet from my fucking mother, who's a psychologist. I'm like, this is fucked, but it works.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I think it's every day with me. It's just a constant battle, and we love it. And I think that's why
great.
I think that's kind of like you a little bit.
100%. It keeps me entertained, and I think it's so funny. And I'm very untethered to what people think or say, and it's just fun.
That is why I think when every woman is like, Alex, like, why do you play so many games? I'm like, I think it keeps it so fun. Yeah. Like, why the fuck would I want to be in a boring, stable, like very
Healthy
straightforward, healthy relationship? Don't want it. Don't care for it. Like, I just know
No.
couples like that. I'm like, no, I don't want that.
You know, every Katie with her fucking Mr. and Mrs. Hubby Wifey mug.
Katie, you know you're out there.
She's miserable.
Miserable.
Yes,
Yeah.
trolling through her husband's fucking browser history in the midnight hour while she gets her smooth move tea. And she's like, you know.
No, it doesn't work, Katie. And I think that those are the girls that, like, maybe if you throw in the occasional, like, oh, I'm going out for a girls' night. And he's like, wait, what? Because so many bitches just sit on the couch and, like, wait for their man. And it's like, why don't you go do something and, like, make him feel a little uneasy?
Get more fucking interesting.
Yeah, you fucking loser. You fucking piece of shit.
Fucking Katie.
Katie.
Everyone's so mad that I started calling the Karen 2.0 or 3.0 or 4.0. It used to be Brenda.
I love the Brenda.
I love
like
Brenda too because I think, I mean, Karen is just too
Karen is so universal
mainstream
right now. Everyone's using it. The Brenda hits home. Like, I like that. That it hits, it clicks, it's a good one.
Like,
you
you
got
know
something
who
there.
Brenda is.
Yeah. You know, I know who Brenda is. We all know who Brenda is. Literally imagine if your name is Brenda and you listen to Jackie's podcast. Every time you say that word, like, clench up. They're like, fuck,
Like, I gotta change my name to Baby or Brendy or something.
B. Yeah, no.
A rite of passage on this podcast is talking about adult sharding. Have you ever shat your pants?
Listen, Jackie, this is really the hard-hitting things that we need to talk about.
I'm gonna get a Peabody, so I just have to ask the hard questions.
This is the thing. I have never had a difficult time going to the bathroom. Like,
Okay.
I feel like my sister's always like, oh, I can never
What
go.
about anal for the first time?
Anal? I passed out the first time, never done it since. Really? And the guy that I was just hooking up with wanted to put a butt plug in my butt, and I was like,
Wait, the guy that you just went to Santa Barbara with that you've known for a fucking week?
No, literally, I need to tell you about this. So I think, like, oh my God, I'm like hooking up with this guy, and like, it's fun or whatever. And he was like, I drove by a sex shop, and I don't know why. Zoom,
You
bitch.
just met
Literally
Zoomy.
just met him, and he was like, I don't know why, but I just like bought this box for us. Like, we don't have to use it, but like, I thought it would be funny. Like, I feel like you're that type of girl that is like down, but like, you also like wouldn't be insulted that I brought this box. And a part of me is like, Kate, my podcast is fucking me. Like, these men think I'm just like this huge
I was
whore.
just gonna say that to you.
Right,
I'm
right,
like,
right.
your podcast is This Is Why.
I'm like, I've never done anal. Like, what are you talking about? But I've only literally done it once, and I passed out from it.
Why did you pass out?
So the guy, so I had been cheating on my boyfriend in college, and he found
Good
out.
for you.
So he comes over.
I love that for you, by the way.
Me too. I mean, college, like, who cares? You
I
know what
cheated
mean?
on basically every single boyfriend except Andrew.
Okay,
That's
amazing.
the truth, and I've never said that on the podcast, but I literally, whether emotionally or vaginally, have cheated on every single boyfriend pre-Andrew.
And I think that's like what you need to do to like get yourself where you need to be with like an Andrew.
And
like,
I
you needed to get it out of your
feel
system.
zero remorse about it.
Literally psycho, like dead in the eyes. Jackie's like, and I felt nothing.
It was liberating.
Yeah.
I felt amazing
And
about
you
myself. And I felt like I was sticking it to the man, and everyone was getting what they wanted out of the deal. I was getting meals. They were getting me. I was having fun.
I think that's like kind of so amazing, Jackie. And I think that like I love you because I think it's funny to talk about cheating. I literally think it's so funny. And I made a shirt that says cheat on him. And America is so upset at me. They're like, this is like literally
really?
so fucked up. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, cheat on him. Cheat or be cheated on. Like, cheat. Just cheat. I obviously don't mean it.
Right,
but, like,
of course,
I mean
but
it.
that's why it's funny.
Right. I think it's funny, like, so we're talking about college. So, like, yes, I cheated
When you're
on
in
my...
college,
Who gives-
you can't be faithful to anyone but your fucking self.
Literally,
okay?
you don't even know how to have good sex in college. Like, what are we talking about? So
It's not that. Everyone relax.
exactly.
Calm down.
So, I'm in college. I cheated on my boyfriend. He found out. And it was just a funny situation because I was like living in this little house thing, and my bedroom was in the front of the house, and you could see through my window.
Is this with your ex-partner
on
the podcast?
Oh, no.
Oh.
This is
What's
this
her
is
name?
college.
Sophia?
Yes.
I don't even know her name.
So-
I'm
okay.
quite sorry.
You're like, I don't know what's going on. So
I don't know where I am.
I told him I was taking a nap. He goes by my house, sees I'm not taking a nap. I'm not in my bed because you can see through the window. I was on a date. It was like my first date with a professional hockey player. So I was like masturbating everywhere. And then he found out that I was lying. So later he comes over. I cry to him, and I'm sitting there on the bed, and I'm trying to get him to like forgive me because he was on the hockey team at Boston. So he had status.
Okay.
But, like, whatever.
And
And
then
I
you gave
realized
him
in
your
that
butt?
moment, I need to let him put his penis in my asshole.
Okay.
I just cheated. I need to fix it. anal. We had always wanted to do it. It's a perfect time. So we start hooking up. I'm like, do you want to put it in my ass? Perfect. Amazing.
How does one breach doing anal for the first time? You obviously offered it on the table in a moment of guilt.
It was a moment of guilt. I never was really like, ooh, I want the anal, but I knew he wanted it. And
Does anybody really feel that way?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so, but there are girls I know that love it, but I think that to want to even start it, it's such an interesting concept. So he sticks it in, no lube, no forewarning, nothing, puts the whole thing in. And I like freak the fuck out and I push him, like I'm like, get off me. And he falls back and I pass out onto the ground. I wake up to water being poured on my face and he's Googling what to do when girl passes out from anal. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, you passed out. And he's like, looks like he's crying. And then that was it. And then he forgave me and he obviously got back together with me. I'm like, I just passed out from anal sex. You gotta take me back.
Could never. Never. Dear John wishes.
Literally. So those were like little manipulative things that I would do. I'm like, give him anal. He'll forgive me for the cheating. So that was my first anal experience. Have you ever dabbled?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. It is no, I don't think I'm ever going to do it.
Not even a concept, not even a thought. You're like, it's never happening.
I kind of don't think it's ever going to happen.
Do you think Andrew cares?
He says he doesn't and he's not interested in it, but he could also be a dirty fucking liar.
Right. But like, honestly, if that's what he's saying, then like you go with that. And it's like, you're a fucking loser. If you want to speak up, speak now.
Yeah. Buck up, buttercup.
Buck up. Do you want to have it? No, I think it is overrated. I do think there are certain women that love anal sex.
What, dirty little whores?
Yeah. And no, all of you whores out there, just stop trying to get fucked in the ass.
You're making us look bad. Please stop.
But I also think it's like men think they want to do it, and then once they have it, it's like it's nothing to. It's like, okay, they just want it for the story.
Like, how many holes are you supposed to offer up?
It's kind of it's
a lot.
You are supposed to offer all of them, and then they can pick. I always joke, I'm like, you're just a whole bitch, so just like lay down and let him pick. Put a fucking paper bag over your head. You're literally ugly. Just stop. But do you like a finger in there? You're like, Kate, Jackie's like, Kate.
No. Please keep going.
Wait, do you like a finger in there?
No.
Okay, so like nothing.
I don't want anything even close to my body.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel like some guys would be like too scared to do it, but the guy that I'm hooking up with like just put kind of like his finger or his thumb, and I was like, okay, I could fuck around with this. I never thought I would, but I was like, because I've always been like, get away from my asshole. Just like, stop it.
It's such a trouble zone for me.
It's like, yeah, because we're always pooping. And
I don't.
You don't poop.
I have
your constipation. 101.
Constantly constipated is the title of my memoir.
You hate to see that. Okay, so you're like constantly just like hoping for like it to come.
Yeah. Poo. I mean, every morning I'm like, is this going to happen? Because if it doesn't happen by 11, it ain't happening.
Do you have like, do you feel like you're like bloated all the time because you can't get it out?
Alex.
Oh my God.
Constantly. Like, it is.
What a shame.
The story of my goddamn life. And I talk about it constantly. And I said that I wasn't even going to talk about my digestive system in 2020. But here we are. So this is what I talk about.
They're like, Kate, Jackie, like, new year, new you. Like, listen, like, we don't care.
We love the podcast, but like, we're so sick and tired of hearing about how constipated you are. And I'm like, well, you know what? It's really hard with just grappling with me and the voices in my head. Right. And if it's troubling me and I'm in pain, bear my burden.
It kind of seems like it's also like it's on the forefront of your mind all the time. So obviously it's going to make it to your fucking show.
Yeah.
Everyone shut the fuck up. Relax.
Have
I ever started? Yeah. I mean, I actually with that same boyfriend, I literally remember I faked a fight with him in his apartment because I had to literally
shit your pants.
What I like to call it is code red rumble. You know when you get the rumble and you're like, it's coming and it's soup.
Winter's
like,
coming.
You're like, whoa. And you like hold on to your chair and you're like sweating a little. There's like a little bit of sweat coming down. You're like, oh, this one's going to be literally a disaster. So you're
groundhogging.
Like, yes. You're like, oh God. And it goes in waves. Like sometimes you're like, oh no, we're good. Oh, and then it comes back.
No, abort.
Like, fuck. So I faked a fight. I make him drive me home. He's like, what the fuck? I'm like, get me the fuck home now.
You're like, get in the carpool lane. You're like ready to tuck and roll out of his fucking car.
No, literally. And so I'm like putting the window down, like trying to breathe air. Like I'm sweating. I'm losing my shit.
I'm like sweating while you're telling me
I can
this.
Like feel it. Like it's out. Like I know
it's coming.
I run into my house. I was living with this upperclassman at the time. I run to go to the bathroom. The door's locked. She's having a shower sex with her fucking boyfriend in the shower. And I'm about to literally go everywhere. I run out to the back of the house and I sat my ass down and I literally just like
shat on the floor?
Shat on the grass and I wiped with a leaf.
Bless you. That must have been like a real experience.
It was one of those moments where like I nothing mattered. Like I was like, I am empty. I am here. I'm vulnerable.
I am one with the world.
I'm literally in a backyard, pants on the floor, just shitting my brains out.
I am nature. I am peace.
It's just disgusting. So yeah, don't worry. I've been there many times. It's
That's
disgusting.
so Burning Man of you.
Oh wait, what?
I don't know. Shitting outside.
Wait, that was a good one. I didn't even. Yeah, I've never. Have you been to Burning Man?
I would sooner go to an ISIS prison camp.
So you're not like raging at Coachella every year?
I do go to Coachella every year. And
Jackie, wait.
But
what is this?
My husband.
Oh, wait, that's actually true. You have like an out. I just feel like every girl in Coachella, it literally makes me... I hate it. I think it's just so dumb because it's like, what are your day one outfit, day 1, 2, day
Boomerang,
3,
Revolve Party.
No, the Revolve Party needs to be shut the fuck down.
Who do we have to call? We need to start a change.org.
It's awful. And they get the houses and they get the flowers on their head. Now I'm just like, I could never go to Coachella just because of how much I shit on it. This is what I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
You and I have very similar brands in which we shit on a lot of things.
Sure. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so like, you're like, what are you talking about?
I am a woman that supports women.
So I have literally shit on, like, you know what Bang Energy is?
No.
Okay, Jackie, wake up, bitch. Do you know? But you know what? Like, okay, Instagram influencers, obviously, swipe ups, all that shit.
Of course,
yes, we know that.
Yes.
So
swipe shop.
Yeah, swipe shop. Like,
thanks for subscribing to my channel.
Yeah, like coming
to know
soon.
it.
Like whatever the fuck.
Secret project.
Oh my
it's
god.
Like, oh, is your secret project another photo shoot that you paid for?
No, literally that you paid for. Like
of outfits that you're going to return later. Nobody cares.
So, do you ever worry that you talk so much shit on specific brands that you'll never get sponsors? No, because you're too successful. But like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, then when you have to do a swipe up, like, I have such anxiety because I have shit on so many, like, this is just me being real. Like, I have shit on so many brands and I really, really try to like only work with ones that I like actually fuck with. Like, I have gotten like a lot of offers where I'm like, it would literally just mean my career's over. If I go on the internet and I look into that camera with my eye and I'm like, you guys...
Hey guys,
Fashion Nova, and I have collabed, and I've got this sparkle top. Like, it's over, so like I feel like it's hard for me to, I don't know, it's hard like to make money because I'm also like, wait guys, like I have to have sponsors on my show.
I think that there is a threshold, and I think that people do understand that this is how we make money, and as long as you're not like shamelessly and atrociously whoring yourself out in a self-indulgent manner that is cringy, if you acknowledge the cringe,
it's good.
It's okay.
That,
like, I have to do a swipe up once in a while with a brand that I fucking like that goddamn pays me.
That's
you know what
true.
I'm not doing? Skipping through the streets, tucking I have stray hair behind my ear, making my husband get on the floor and like shoot videos of me and some fucking new shit. Like, I'm not doing that.
No, that's true. That's actually brilliant because I'm like, oh God, like I don't want to be an asshole, and I wanted to call this person out because like I'm sure she's like an amazing girl, okay?
Or not. Maybe she's a fucking terrorist.
Maybe she's a fucking loser. You watch The Real Housewives Atlanta.
Yes.
The daughter,
yes.
Kim Kolschmanak, whatever the last name is, Brielle Bierman.
Yes. Yeah.
I have been following her on Snapchat for quite some time now. And
you're still on Snapchat, woman of the world.
I know. I'm in this bitch. And I hate that I just said that. Take that out. Oh, wait, we're not taking anything out. I'm in this
edits.
Bitch. No edits. I started following her a while ago, and I cannot.
What perplexed you to do that, Alex?
I think I hate follow a lot of people.
Like me?
Yes. No, I actually like following you. But like, you know those people that like you can't stop watching.
Yes.
And it started as that because I was like, wait, this girl's a walking advertisement. And I can't figure it out. Like, I'm like, wait, this is so embarrassing. Her Snapchat, every single day, this girl has a new product. And it's not even like a product that you can you can like fuck with. Like she's holding this thing and she's like, this took away my cellulite. And it's like this little wand and she starts rubbing it on her thigh. And
It's
she's
like, bitch, you're 18. You don't have cellulite.
Like, what are we doing? So I think like people like that, if I could, Brielle, if you're listening, sis, listen, like, sweetheart.
Baby face, honey, honey pie.
It's so inauthentic when you go to someone's page and every single day she has a new product that she's doing a swipe up for. And also, can I just go on another rant?
Please do.
What she does is she uploads the video from her camera roll. And if you ever see someone upload from camera roll, Jackie's like, I don't know what this means.
I don't even know what this means.
It means that so she films the video with a filter, saves it, and then uploads it from her camera roll so it doesn't say she took it with a filter. This bitch's eyes are like glass. Her skin looks perfect. And she has
I have a problem with that.
Okay, that pisses me the fuck off.
I have a problem with that.
Like, I don't care, use filters, but to post something about your skin that you're doing and you have a filter on, I'm like, this is insanity.
Call the influencer police. That should be illegal.
It should.
It's fraud.
It should. That's fucked. Like, I'm like, no. You can use filters, but to be selling a product that, first of all, I know you don't even fucking use. I'm pretty sure you're holding it upside down. And
right.
Second of all, you have a filter on.
That's so not fair.
It's stupid.
I said to Andrew today, as I was getting ready and just like admiring my skin, I was like,
yeah, you have really nice skin.
Thank you. I said to Andrew, I'm like, I feel like I should lead with looks more often because I think I'm much prettier than I let on social media.
No, you literally, I'm not gonna lie, everybody listening, because they're like, wait, Alex, give us a tip. I walk into where we're podcasting right now, and Jackie is like literally tiny, cute. How tall are you?
5'7".
Okay, great height. She looks amazing. She's got the bun down. Like, I'm like, oh, I wonder how I have frizzies in my hair right now. Like, awful, but like, I'm like,
listen, I would sell all of my internal organs to have your hair. You have no idea what's going on under here.
No, I actually love that you're so open about your journey towards knowing you're never gonna like get your hair to where you want it to be. Like,
it's never gonna happen. Be like, oh my god, the Dyson hair wrap. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I know. I could get one. I don't want one.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna use it. I don't know how to do this shit. Shut the fuck up.
But no, you look really good with the bun.
Thank you so much.
Flipped that shit right.
Thank you so much. And I will say to you that you are very beautiful and just as pretty in person as you are on Instagram, because I think that's important to say.
Well, I thank you. It's actually really interesting because the guy that I was just hooking up with was like,
who tried to put something in your butt?
Yes.
A plug?
I mean, like, yeah, he could be saying this because he's like really just trying to get some, but he did make an interesting comment, and I think I got it a lot where people are like, you look so fucking fake on social media, and then in person, like, you don't look as like dolled up Barbie fake. Like,
I don't think that.
Oh, really? Okay.
No.
Oh, so you think I look fake and on Instagram and in person?
No, I don't think you look fake on Instagram.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
I can't get down with like the top model and the blue eyes and the butterfly. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, then the problem is you have to leave your house eventually. You're gonna have to have face-to-face contact, and my biggest fear in life is someone's gonna be like, oh God, she don't look like that in person.
I think that in today's generation, that could single-handedly be one of the biggest fears of women, of like, she looks so good on her Instagram. Because I genuinely think like girls are getting so wrapped up in wanting to Photoshop and do all this stuff. And then, like, you're showing up to a party, and he's like, no, that's not her.
And by the way,
like, no.
People should be more fucking concerned about being able to have a conversation and be funny and have an opinion and be interesting than making their eyes fucking blue and their cheeks goddamn chiseled.
Thank you. Like, I just wish girls would, because I think what happens is it's almost like, it's like body dysmorphia. Like, you start to fix your shit, and then slowly you're like, I can't turn back now. Like, they think that I have this type of nose, and it's like, wait a second, what are you doing? Like,
who cares?
It makes
by the way.
It makes me mad. Yeah.
I know. I hate it. Like, everyone should be way more focused on just being funny like us.
Yeah. Did you hear that? No, it is. It's true. If you have a good personality, like I always say, I like joke on my show, but I'm like, if you are like a 4 or a 5 and you're feeling down on yourself, sweetheart, if you have a good personality, you outweigh the fucking 9s and 10s. 9s and 10s
any
suck.
day of the week.
Suck.
I have so many guy friends, and it is so plain to see, like, when you trace their patterns, their dating patterns, the ones that stick around are always the ones that are like a great hang, get along in a crowd, can do the fucking thing, not the bitches with, you know, perfect bone structure taking selfies at the dinner table.
And he's like, do you have an original thought? And that's the guy who just told me he was dating this model girl, and he was like, it just got to the point where I'd come home and she'd be taking pictures, and I wanted to be like, what are you doing?
Why?
What are you doing?
How embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
The most, like, humiliating humiliating moments of my home life are when Andrew will walk in from a different room and I'm like doing something on Instagram, and when I see him see me looking into a camera, talking to people, to strangers on the internet,
is it like,
it is soul crushing and it makes me hate myself.
that is so amazing though. like do you know how normal that is? Like, no, you're like, I wasn't doing that. What was I doing? What?
I was like,
blacked out.
I was FaceTiming my grandma.
No, literally, like, I think though that's why you are so successful, because your brand is like, you aren't involved in social media like how everyone is so consumed by it today, and like,
I just can't do it. It's not awful. I don't, it's like embarrassing to me.
I think it's literally like, I hate that I'm in this generation. Like, I wish like I really wish I didn't have to have an Instagram and like do this, but I also know it's my job. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been deleted off Instagram so many times.
Let's talk about shadow ban Jackie for a minute. What the fuck?
It's just my life. It's just what happens.
Everybody that gives a fuck that Jackie's constantly talking about getting fucked or wanting to fuck her dog,
and I was so good for so long, but then I was wine tasting last week. So I looked at my gorgeous Shih Tzu, the light hit him just in the right way.
I was a little tipsy, and all of a sudden
the juice was flowing.
And you're like, and for the first time I did think about anal when I looked at my dog. And there.
I am saving my butt, and it's for a 10-pound Shih Tzu with his little tic-tac pee-pee.
I actually kind of really love that you have I usually shit on people that like overpost their dogs, but I think your relationship, how you've sexualized your dog is the only one that I support. I'm like,
it's really giving it a new life.
I'm like, oh, okay. Like, she's constantly talking about like wanting to fuck her dog. Like, I'm good with that. That's fine.
When he rolls over and his pee-pee is just out for the world to see.
You're wet. You're like, Andrew, you could never make me this moist.
Wet. Slipping and sliding. I slide off my fucking mattress.
I love that for you.
He's so hot.
Your dog is really cute. I have to give you that.
Like a rugged sex appeal that could only rival Jude Law, in my opinion.
Wait, how old is your dog?
He will be 7 on August 22nd.
Oh my God.
Yes, so I will give him my butt for his birthday.
So that's what we're doing on his birthday.
Yes.
That's good.
And I think I'm shadow banned now, actually, which is breaking news.
It's like, why?
Oh, because in the midnight hour after my bubble bath and I saw him in the right light, I said, he's so fuckable and I don't care who knows it. And I put it on Instagram, and then the next day, boom.
How does one, I don't get why, what do we shadow ban for? I think Call Her Daddy is shadow banned.
Really?
For life, yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I'm always like, shove her head into the fucking drywall and fuck the shit out of her asshole. And they're like,
I have no idea why.
I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, I don't get it. Like, why would I be shot? They're like, so no, you're like an online porn site. I'm like, oh, okay, I could see that being an issue.
Well, at least you didn't get an email from Instagram support saying that you encourage bestiality and terrorist activity. Because I said something about an ISIS prison camp. I think I just said it again in this episode.
You did? What were we talking about? Oh, you said you'd rather go there than Burning Man.
Which is true.
Very, yes, yeah.
Sorry that a woman in 2020 can't voice her fucking opinions.
Right. Like, fuck Burning Man, ISIS for the win. I think that totally makes sense, Jackie.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're shadow banned. I think I am too. It's fine. Whatever.
Listen, the sisterhood just keeps going and going and going.
I know. What else should we talk about? What do people want to hear us talk about?
Oh my God, I wrote some notes.
Wait, I love that.
Well, don't get too excited.
It's literally like 3 lines. She's like, wait, I have notes. I'm like,
I never take notes, but I was like, you might be a little rusty. You haven't like actually podcasted with anyone in a solid 8 months, so maybe you should just jot down. And it's a total of 5 words. This is what it says, by the way.
Okay.
Alex Cooper, sharding, virginity, psycho, tell her about the leg humper. That's all.
Okay, that was like really amazing. Thank you. So, what is a leg humper?
I'll frame this for you, and you could take this.
I'm like, so these are my notes. Well, I was so happy that you have those at least, because I was saying to Jackie before I came on, I was like, I have not been on a show solo yet. So you're like literally popping my cherry. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
How does it feel?
It's weird being on someone else's show. I feel like I only do Call Her Daddy. So like having someone kind of narrate for me, like I'm usually always the one that's like, oh yeah, I'm kind of relaxed.
I know.
I'm like, what else?
It's
Tell me.
so nice.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna tell you a story because I feel like you'll appreciate it.
Okay.
Before I met Andrew, I dated someone. It's a short story.
You dated someone. That's amazing to know.
The end.
I dated someone before Andrew. The end. Oh, and I cheated on him.
True. But now you'll understand why.
Okay.
We went out on like our 3rd date. Okay. And everything was going great. On paper, like, such a catch. Great job. Great face. Great, like, everything.
Everything working.
So funny. Like, we had, like, a perfect banter rapport.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we went to the valet. And he was getting the car. And he, like, whisked me off, like, kind of behind a plant or whatever. And we were making out. And then he gets down low. And he holds eye contact with me, looks up at me, and he goes, "Is this okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." I didn't know what the fuck he was going to do. He braced his genitalia, his soft, limp dick, against my kneecap, denim on denim, and humped my leg till he came in his pants. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Give us 5 stars.
Hey guys, welcome to Nicole and Hattie. Wait, what? I'm sorry.
I just needed to tell you this because I feel like you're the appropriate person to tell.
Okay, there's a couple things going through my mind.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, like if he was down there at first, I'd be like, did he drop something?
That's what I thought.
Right. You're like, you're good, bro. Like, come back up. Like, wait, why are you down there? And then when he latches,
By the way, the lower body strength that it takes to squat down and hump somebody's leg to fruition.
Literally, like, you got to be so centered gravity-wise, like, getting in.
But also,
Jackie,
like, my core strength, who knew? Because I was definitely in heels.
And like, you're having to kind of, like hold the boat down as it rocks a little because he's jamming his soft dick into your leg.
Right.
So,
the stabilizer muscles, who knew?
Right, like, who knew? Like, amazing opportunity for you. But also, like, kind of...
leg rape?
Yeah, so you did kind of get leg raped. That's an interesting concept. What?
But it was, I agreed to it. I said yes.
What did you do while he was doing that?
Well,
I don't know. I think I would, like, knee him in the head. Like, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, the thing was, what does one do? Because you're hands free. You've got your hands to yourself. You've got your whole upper body to yourself.
Right.
So, like, do you, like, caress the hair?
like
a back tickle?
A little back tickle, like, hey, what you doing down there?
I went full hands off. I got my I was
I got on my phone. I called my grandma. Grandma.
I texted my roommate and I was like,
"You'll never believe what's happening." And you take a picture. You're like, look what he's doing.
By the way,
you should have videoed it.
I should have. I would have been a wild viral sensation. But I didn't know what to do. And I was also like, listen, he just bought me a beautiful meal. I had my own appetizer. I got my own salad.
Oh,
I got 2 drinks, top shelf.
I mean, my God, that definitely warrants a leg rape. Can you explain to me after he came? Because I'm assuming, did he have like a disgusting, like,
It was so quick, too. Like, it was so quick that I kind of thought the next day, I'm like, did it
happen? Like, was I blacking out for a second there? Wait, and then he came... And then what did he say?
It was like, yeah, it was disgusting.
Some of them, like, I'm sorry to some men, but like when they orgasm, I'm like, I wish you would not. They're like, and you're like, you really need to reel that in and like figure that out because it's disgusting. Yeah. What did you do when he came up to your face after he ejaculated?
I kind of blacked out. I was probably like,
you're like,
you good?
Wait, how old were you?
Like 20, because I started dating Andrew when I was 21.
What?
Yeah, so I had this really bomb fake ID. Her name was Michaela Edwards. I think she was probably on heroin. She was 36. I used it everywhere.
Michaela. God, she sounds hot.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was on heroin, and then you met Andrew.
Right when I was 20, after I dated that guy, like around the same time.
That must have been also such a mindfuck because you were having... like a good time with that guy.
That was the problem.
And then you're like, and that's why it's like hard sometimes when you have those moments where everything was working perfectly and then he goes down, he starts like jacking off basically like with his own body like onto your leg and you're like, I want to pretend this isn't happening because everything else was perfect.
But it's happening.
But then it's happening. Did you hang out with him again after that?
100 times, yeah.
I thought you were going to say 100% no. Oh my God. Wait, what? Did he ever do it again?
Okay, so I thought maybe he was hammered and maybe things just got weird.
You were really giving him an out there.
And he was having a stroke and I don't know what the fuck was going on.
And then he got down there and he was horny well after the stroke, so he just
and it happened again a couple times. And I just, once you weather the storm, you're prepared. You bring your
like, I gotta
poncho
buck
and
up
give it a
here.
go, and you just get crafty.
And did you ever adjust your routine when you were up there? Like, did you keep with the back scratch, or were you like?
Well, the first time I was ill prepared because I didn't know it was happening.
So
we were
like,
in public. I was like, oh my God, what the hell?
What does one do with their hands?
The second time it was under his roof. So like, I
You like are rubbing your clit. You're like, this is so hot.
no, I was always fully clothed.
Okay, yeah.
Which is weird.
Like on the outside of your pants, you're like, I guess like this is what I should be. Well, what do you do?
You do nothing. You just, I would take a sip of my drink. I would maybe like a little tickle.
And like, I'm sorry.
A little pat.
You're like, you good down there, buddy? Enough? Are you good? Like, no, Jackie, I think the most fascinating thing
This
to
one,
me.
by the way, take a look at her.
I can tell she glistens a little different.
She's been through so much.
She's been fucked right.
Yeah.
How I think the most interesting concept to me is the moment he comes up. And for your first words, do you remember it ever? Was it so awkward, or was
he would like kiss me, like he would like kiss me on the cheek or something, and I was just like,
he said things that was great.
I'm just like, and it really made me judge myself because I'm like, how desperate are you for like a fucking chopped salad?
Wait, because when you were like, and I was just, because he had just bought me, I'm like, oh wait, was he like kind of like a sugar daddy? Like, she's like, he had just bought me a Birkin. Jackie's like, he had just bought me dinner.
Listen, I was
Jackie.
4 and 20 and I had like $4.
Right.
And I was working as a PA and I was just so excited to get my own fucking appetizer.
I'll give you that.
And stimulating conversation.
That is where it's fucked, because you were like having a good emotional conversation. Can you tell me how you met Andrew?
Yes, I met him. So I snuck into a bar with my fake ID because I obviously wasn't of age. And yes, my heroin addict fake ID. My best friend Dan went to Berkeley with Andrew and saw him at the bar and was like, oh, Andrew Haas is here. And I knew who he was because he had gone to my high school. He's older than me, but I was friends with his younger sister.
Wait, you went to the same high school? Oh my
Not
God.
Together, like we didn't know each other, but I knew who he was because he was like in a band. He was like this music guy, and everyone kind of knew who he was because he was just,
he's the guy. Yeah,
he was like hot and had gauges and drove like a green GT Mustang.
He had gauges
and black hair. Yeah.
He had black hair.
Isn't that disgusting?
Wait, that's literally repulsive.
Disgusting.
His hair is naturally blonde.
That's his natural hair.
Okay, so we're back to the natural.
So we're back. We're back to the current. And my friend saw him at the bar and was like, hey, you want me to introduce you? And I was like, yeah. And then he introduced us and we went out like 3 days later and we've been completely together ever since. We were like boyfriend, girlfriend in 3 days. Really annoying.
Can you explain to me like how you have such a healthy relationship?
I don't know. I mean, Andrew just gets my breed of crazy. We just totally get each other. He is good at all the things I'm really bad at.
Okay, yeah. So you like balance each other well.
Very well. But the thing is, he's very calm. He's super chill. He's humble. He's kind. But he gets my sense of humor.
Yes, and that is so key. That is so fun. The way that you're describing that, I think it's interesting because as I'm coming into my own and I'm like trying to figure out, because like my entire life I've just like loved dating professional athletes because I think it's like a fun game. Like I enjoy trying to like, I'm going to make this man fall in love with me because it's like the ultimate challenge. And now I'm getting bored of them. I'm like, your life is going to be over in your 30s and like I have no interest in you and like I probably won't ever like end up with one. Yeah. But it was like a fun thing for me. And now I know I'm 25, but I'm starting to look at relationships very differently. Yeah. And like wanting something a little bit more terrifying for the daddy gang. They're like, please, Alex, stop. You need to keep being a whore for like a couple more years for enjoyment. But I think for a very long time, I didn't know like if I had a type. Yeah. And it's not looks wise, but I need a guy that is calm. Totally. And is so fucking secure within himself that when we walk into a room and I'm like the crazy, like outgoing extrovert, he's like, yeah, that's my bitch. But like, he's not. It kind of reminds me of you and Andrew because you're saying like you're out there, you're crazy, and he's just like so chill and he's so good with balancing you and he supports the fuck out of you.
He's like amused but not too amused. Yes. You know what I mean? Like he's not like,
and that must
there
be attractive.
She goes. He's just like, oh fuck me,
but
like
isn't
let
that
her
attractive
go.
For you? Because I feel like you kind of probably like I don't want a guy that's so obsessed with me to the point like where he's like, oh my god, go sweetheart, yeah, like please stop, relax. Like I like that.
We have too much self-love. Yes. Like we don't need someone that's like you're the he like he's supportive and like loves me and thinks I'm funny, but he's not like...
Yeah, he's not like hyping you up 24/7, like
No,
vocally, like,
he's
let
busy.
me take your pics. And it's like, okay, stop. Like you with your fucking singing thing that you're doing to him, literally I'm like, so that's me, I need to get one of those things. And you annoy them.
Oh my God, I'm going to send you one.
Okay, thank you.
It's a
like,
gift.
I need this. Like it is the epitome of everything that I love of like doing to a man. Like annoy the fucking shit out of him. But
Yeah.
you also know he's so obsessed with you that you can push him to the point of like, I want him to be like, wait, no, now I'm actually thinking about divorcing you because you're getting so annoying. But it's fun to get
so
there.
fun.
It's so fun.
And then it shows that they have boundaries.
Yes.
And we like to
Oh.
push those boundaries.
like literally to the brink.
to the very brink and
Every
then back
day.
again.
And then back again. Now let's try it again. I'm going to
Just
try it
push
this
it,
way
push
today.
it, push it.
And they're like, can we just relax for a minute? You're like, no, I have something up my sleeve. Hold on, watch.
Andrew will
That's
just look at me and
interesting.
be like, do you ever shut the fuck up? And I'll be like, no, bitch, I get paid to talk.
You're like, actually, I was about to. And now I'm going to keep going. Thank you,
I'm like,
Andrew.
oh, is this bothering you? I will kick it up a couple fucking notches,
You're like,
bitch.
here we go.
Game on, you want to play?
That's amazing. I think, so you talk a lot.
Yeah, constantly.
Okay, me too. Like, can't stop.
Like,
we said,
cannot stop.
we are our own best friend, and it is just an amazing time being with myself. I love it.
And you
So
have
great.
to find someone that can tune you out. That's really important.
So key.
So
Selective hearing, just so that they don't lose their shit, because we will never get bored of this.
Yeah.
I could do this for the entire day by myself, just like talking about everything. And then you need a partner that's able to be like, I didn't hear one thing you just said. And it's
Right.
fine.
They just pick and choose what they hear.
Yes.
And then when you start getting crazy and you start picking fights,
Like-
which is something I love to do,
Oh, you do.
I like to keep my weapons sharp.
Right. Oh, okay. Psycho. I'm scared of her. Whoa. The way you said that one too. Well, like, what's a fight you pick?
Oh, just whatever. Anything.
just
Any
anything.
damn day. Oh my God, what did I do the other night? It was so great. It was like midnight.
And that's when you know, oh, it's midnight, time to go to bed. No, time to ramp it up.
I had fallen asleep. I had been asleep for like an hour and a half.
Okay.
Then I resurrected in the midnight hour. Andrew was still up. And he
Okay.
was working on some song and he had his headphones on. He was in the bed next to me. And I was like, Andrew, could you get me water? Andrew, could you get me water? He couldn't hear me because obviously he had his fucking headphones in. And I was like, it's fine. You just don't listen to me. You're just the worst listener. And I start picking a fight and he puts his headphones off. He's like, what the fuck
He's like, are you talking to yourself?
He's like, you were asleep. I was like, you drank the rest of my water, okay? I'm dehydrated. I need to, like, and I just started going. And he's like, why are you trying to pick a fight right now? And I'm like, I don't know, Andrew. Maybe you should ask yourself that question.
You're like, you know what, Andrew?
Which is literally psycho shit.
And then he's like, so you want water? You're like, it's not about that now. It's the fact that you drank it didn't replenish me. Now you're listening. You're not even listening. And he's like,
Put your headphones on, Andrew. Why don't you keep drowning out in the music? And he's like, well, it's literally my job. I waited for you to fall asleep.
And then I'm doing my job, and now you just woke up and you're talking to yourself, but you're talking to me. You could have just like tap, like, hey, can you take your headphones off? Meanwhile, Jackie's like, Andrew, it's just so amazing. You won't even get me water.
I'm
He's
like, Mozart, oh my God, he's shaking because Andrew at midnight has to be slamming bops while his wife is sleeping.
The fact that you
Nuts.
That is the shit I respect and I love and I do. I really think it keeps things so fresh. I think it's the way to do relationships constantly.
I slept like a baby that night.
You're like, he got his fucking ass up and he went and got me the motherfucking water.
And guess what? Didn't touch it. Went right back to sleep, popped an Advil PM, and woke up fresh as a fucking daisy.
You're like, and that, folks, is how you have an amazing night. Piss them off. He's up all night. I'm sound asleep.
He's tossing and turning like, what? Did I marry a full psychopath? I'm like, I'll rest my head just fine, Andrew. That's what I say to him when I start picking fights. I'll be like, watch me lull myself to sleep in 2.5 seconds. This means nothing.
He's like, so you are a psychopath.
Fully.
So,
Fully.
but he doesn't mind you like talking about him on your podcast, or he does?
Well, he doesn't listen to the podcast, so he doesn't
okay.
really know.
Really?
But he wouldn't care.
Wait, how does that, can you kind of like give me some tips on like, how did you get them not listen? Because the guy that I went on a date with sent his mom the clip of me talking about him. He was like, this is the girl I'm taking to Santa
that's
Barbara. And I'm
incredible.
like, so let's not. Like, let's maybe, I don't know, send her a pic and just be like, hey, she has a show. You send her the audio clip where
my
I'm
gosh.
saying that I put on a huge fucking bra to make my tits look amazing for our Zoom date. I don't think so. I don't think that's what your mom needs to know about me. And he was like, why? It's funny. I'm like, I don't think it's funny. I talk about wanting to bang the shit out of you like night one. I don't think so.
That's unbelievable. that
How
he said
does
that.
how does he not listen? Do you think he does though?
No, I know for sure he doesn't.
Okay. No, you're like, trust me because I've said something.
He hasn't listened for so long that I was trying to play him like one clip recently, and his phone, like, he's subscribed, but they haven't downloaded since like 2016.
He's not even helping your download ratio?
No.
Andrew!
Motherfucker.
Wait, what?
My friends don't listen either. They're also sick of me. They're like, we don't need anymore.
But
We're good.
So you've been doing this for 6 years. So you're like on the path to
They're done.
Yeah, they're done.
Everyone's
They're
so
done.
fucking over me at this point that they're
Right,
like,
and you're
nobody's.
like, and I'm just getting started. Again, your own best friend. You're like, I can keep it going.
I'm like, girl, you good.
So he just doesn't listen.
No, he doesn't listen.
Okay.
He
Do you
gets
think
the
his
real
family
thing.
cares?
No, his sister listens and she thinks it's funny. Me and her are close. So.
Well, I think it's so clear that a lot of it is comedy, but I also
it's also, it's just a good time.
it's a good time. It makes you self-reflect on a lot of things. It makes, when you talk about divorce 24/7, you're like,
I will play this podcast for our children.
yeah, there you go. And I think that's an amazing thing to say, that like he's probably like, so we're not going to do that. And you're like, it will be their first lullaby. Like, shut the fuck up. We're playing it. Press play. And the first episode is going to be me literally talking about divorcing your asshole. And he's like, okay.
They should know.
They should know.
60% of marriages end in divorce.
So like, let's just get them tuned into it and like let them know what could be their future. I think that's beautiful.
It's super healthy. And you know what? Maybe one day when you and Butt Plug Zoom Man get married, then you'll have podcasts to listen back to as well. They could be your vows.
I think they're a little different than yours.
Probably.
Some of the content is a little wait till they're 18 to hear.
Oh,
Even
right,
then, maybe not. But
Parental
I agree.
advisory.
I mean, I'm pretty sure one of the episodes was like double penetration and a happy new year. And I'm like, I think we could do without. And then maybe when they're like 21, like I could dabble. But like, yeah, hopefully.
Please invite me over when you play it for your future
I'm like, a
children.
listening party, guys. Here we go. And like, I like scar my kids for the rest of their lives. Yeah.
Well,
like,
it's
like
all
doing
out
porn.
there.
Yeah.
Alex Cooper, you're the best.
Thank you for having me.
I wish you lived in LA. We could do this all the fucking time.
You know what? The last statement I will say is I came in here being like, I just genuinely could never live in LA. I think it gives me anxiety being here. I feel like everyone's
Really?
so beautiful and they're all so like fake. Like everyone tells me like you can't have a real relationship in LA, and it scares me.
Those are the people that aren't from LA. They're the transplants.
Okay, that's what I figured. And then I got
In my
here.
opinion.
And I like genuinely actually like it. And I also think it's like there's not a lot of people doing what I'm doing in New York.
Yeah.
And so it's hard
That's
to
so
collab with
true.
people. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, ooh, maybe I'm going to have to become like a bi-coastal bitch. And I like the ring of that. So
Oh my
like,
God, me too. I love an alliteration.
little bi-coastal bitch. And so
Yes.
I'm like, maybe I'll like come here more. And then we can do this more.
You should.
Okay.
And everyone, you're probably already listening to Call Her Daddy, so just continue listening to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm like literally honored.
I'm
Queen.
honored.
Queen.
We are.
Solo podcasting queen sitting in front of me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure you give us 5 stars on iTunes if you feel like
Yeah.
it, and follow me at Jackie Schimmel if
probably
you can
won't be able
find
to
me.
find please try really hard. Yeah, go.
Just like go
follow
at the
Jackie.
bottom, like type in the name, and then go to the very
And just
bottom.
keep working through it. Yeah, it'll show up eventually.
Just figure it out. Get crafty. Get resourceful, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you.